Hey YouTube, good morning. I'm going to try to get some unprotected left turns here recorded on Monday morning with a little bit of rush hour traffic around 8 a.m. East Coast time. But this time I think I'm going to scoot over and allow a car to go behind me here. But this time I think what I'm going to do is on a couple of the bailouts, if they happen, I'm going to go right to the stoplight and then let the mapping reroute and attempt the U-turn, which I think is one of the mitigations for all these unprotected left turns is to do right turns to U-turns, or at least, you know, try it, and if you can't find a way, reevaluate and go to the right. You know, forcing a car to cross 3 lanes of traffic is going to be difficult to do. It's difficult for a human to do. I know when I taught my kids how to drive, I actually asked them to avoid these type of intersections, and if there's a stoplight, use it. A couple questions did come up and say, you know, how many accidents are there at this intersection? You know, it's very dangerous. It shouldn't be this way. Ironically, there are fewer accidents. I've lived here for almost 30 years. There are fewer accidents at this intersection than there are at the stoplight 1 block down the road, because at the stoplight occasionally you get the person that runs the red light in the middle of the night or at an unsafe situation, and a person is going in a protected scenario. So most of the accidents, and including a fatality in the last few years, was at the stoplight. So generally it's not just safer to go through a stoplight, but it's definitely less complex. Okay, so I'm gonna do a few here and then we'll see what happens. All right, it stopped a little early before the stop line, and it's proceeding, and it went for it in a way that was uncomfortable. And I'm not sure where it's going. That's interesting. Okay, so it wasn't even following the blue line there. It was accelerating beyond a point where I couldn't see. You know, I know a lot of the comments over the last couple days said that the car can see better than you. We can debate that in the comments if you want. I've been filming this intersection a lot for a long time, and I know where the B-pillar camera is and theoretically what it can see. This wide angle camera up here, at the fringes of a wide angle camera, there is not a lot of clear resolution. While there may be some pixels introduced that show traffic is there, I'm not sure that the fringes of a wide angle camera are what Tesla is going to bank their Tesla Vision distance measuring and acceleration, deceleration measuring here. Okay, so a little confused why that happened. Maybe some of you in the comments are gonna know, but I let it proceed just to see what it would do. It didn't decide to do a U-turn. It decided to do a loop to come back out and do another unprotected left. Interesting outcome. Well, that's what testing is for. It's got a, okay, it had a right blinker on, so I disengaged and let it reevaluate. Okay, now we're going to reapproach. It does have a left blinker on. Okay, I definitely cannot see, so it needs to creep. If it creeps all the way, I'm going to have to stop it. Okay, it stopped that time. I'm going to give you a little view since it stopped. There's a lot of traffic coming. I have about a 30-degree angle here, and there's a fence, and on this fence are a bunch of vines and trees, so it can only see about a second down the road right now. And this representation is about right. That's the angle. Okay, it cannot go. Okay, it stopped just in time. There's a little bit more of the view. Okay, there's a nice gap coming up here, so it can go to the median and maybe all the way across. It needs to go now, and there it goes. Okay, it's starting to think about it. Don't stop, and it's going right again. Okay. I got a pretty good gap behind me, so I'm going to let it keep going. Interesting scenario developing here. To a programmer, this is what I would call a loop. Okay. I'm just going to keep letting this scenario run. This is funny. It's like there's a fight between vision and navigation. It had a chance to cross the median there. The navigation was telling it to do that. But it didn't do that. Here's the intersection here. And if you can't see it in the camera, there's 3 lights, 1, 2, 3. This left one, unlike the visualization here, has a left turn arrow protection. So it could either do a U-turn or a left turn into a subdivision across the way. Okay, so this is a green light. It waited. It didn't try a right on red there. And it's going to go around the block and try it again. We do have a pedestrian up here now. You'll get to see a pedestrian visualization up here on the left. See if it honors it in any unusual way. It looks like it's just treating the pedestrian as if it was clear. Didn't have to go around it. Creating paths around these cars parked on the streets. Okay, a little stop sign here. Let's see if it goes all the way to stop. It didn't. It did in this situation, but it's all the way to creep. It's been doing some California rolls, having a little bit of a debate about whether or not an automatic driving car should break the law by rolling a stop sign. I personally think it ought to be a setting or do not allow it. All right, here we are again. It's got this back left and right flicker. These blue cars, I need to understand what those are too. They're turning blue. It needs to slowly creep here. I'm gonna let you guys look at it for a second. It wants to go right according to this vector, even though that's saying left. So creeping. Okay, you can stay in the right lane, but I don't know why it's going. Okay, it stopped. So it was a disengagement because it got into the lane. It definitely wasn't trying to cross. It was going right again. I don't know why it's not trying this unprotected left right now. So I basically completed this loop because it obviously was trying to go right that time. I'm confused. The navigation is definitely telling it to try going across the street. I'm going to go ahead and re-engage here on the street as this oncoming car is did that fine. If navigation is telling it to cross and take a left, but vision is saying no, take a right, I'm not sure why vision is joining back up with navigation and doing the loop again. There's a piece of missing information there on recorrecting or trying it again. Imagine myself in a robo-taxi of the future if something like this were to happen and I was a paying customer going around in circles. Okay, it kind of was going out into the lane for that car, which was just kind of a timing issue, but that was a little bit of a wide turn and it didn't do that well. All right, it's got a right turn signal on and a left attempt here. And it's kind of creeping over to the right again. Let me get a good view here. It can't quite see. Okay, it's I can't see if it's clear or not, so I don't know. The car definitely should not go for it right now. It should continue to creep up. I'm leaning, my head is about 2 feet ahead of the B-pillar right now, and I can only see a little bit. Especially these cars are going about 45 to 55, depending. In the rush hour, they're probably going about, big truck represented there. Okay, it definitely seems to have decided I'm going right, even though the mapping is going left. So I have a feeling if it does the right turn here again, I'm just gonna call that a day and say that this scenario is failing to follow navigation. Okay, I can't see, but there is a gap. Okay, there's a very wide gap. Okay, so it's going. Let's see what. Oh, it's got a left blinker here. Now it's in the middle lane, and then it went back to the right. So it could have done a U-turn here, which is kind of what I was hoping it was going to do. Okay, we're in a do loop, fellas and ladies. Here we have a dog and a pedestrian here. Let's get a little clip of them honoring it. I'm gonna let the car, okay, I'm gonna disengage just for confusion there. That, it did not give that person the width it needed. Wow. So that's the first time that's ever happened on unprotected left turns. The car definitely wanted to go right. I let it go right today a little bit more. On some of the previous videos, some of y'all thought, and that's kind of why I tested differently today, that it was going right to get the repeater camera up here, a better view by the left wheel well. I don't think that was the case. It basically just wanted to go right, and then it was jumping off of the navigation route and wasn't getting me down the road. All right, well, we'll chew on that. We'll give Tesla some feedback, and we'll wait on some improvements. Please leave comments down below. I'm enjoying reading your thoughts. Many of you see things I don't see, and the conversation about what's actually happening is beneficial to everyone. Have a great day.